I told that Russia's not doing any shooting for a period of time during this horrendously cold weather.
Because of you.
Well, so we asked President Putin if they could stop the shooting for a week. They're being hit with proportionately the kind of cold that we're being hit. It's much colder in Ukraine to start off with, but it's really cold now, and he agreed to do that. We appreciated that very much. It's a nasty war. It's a nasty, nasty war.
Russia's relentless war machine is roaring back to life with ferocious intensity, while frontline Ukraine burns under hail of destruction as Moscow methodically tightens the screws on its battered adversary in this escalating conflict. Vladimir Putin has brazenly ignored Donald Trump's direct personal request for restraint, pressing ahead with a barrage of deadly strikes that continue to ravage cities and towns across the war-torn landscape of Ukraine without any sign of mercy. Moscow's forces kept up their merciless bombing campaigns without hesitation, even as Trump publicly asked for a one-week pause in the fighting to allow for potential diplomatic breakthroughs amid the ongoing devastation. Putin's troops unleashed a massive swarm of 85 drones against Ukraine on January 31st, with 55 of those being the advanced Shaheds-type drones designed specifically for precision strikes on critical infrastructure and civilian areas. The latest Russian attacks have already claimed the lives of 5 innocent people and left more than a dozen others seriously injured in overnight assaults that show no regard for human life or the mounting death toll. Trump revealed that he personally urged Putin in a direct appeal to immediately stop firing on Ukrainian cities for at least one full week, hoping to create a window for peace talks before the situation spirals even further out of control. "It's extraordinarily cold over there right now," Trump remarked during a high-stakes cabinet meeting on January 29th, highlighting the dire humanitarian conditions compounding the military onslaught in the region. Ukraine is now grappling with record-breaking cold temperatures that plunge far below freezing, as its already damaged power grid struggles desperately to survive the combined onslaught of winter weather and relentless enemy bombardment. Millions of Ukrainian civilians now risk prolonged blackouts and freezing conditions as Russian strikes hammer key energy facilities right in the heart of a brutal winter cold snap that's making survival even more precarious. Kiev miraculously was spared from the latest barrage, but the eastern city of Donetsk took heavy, punishing hits in these fresh Russian strikes that targeted vital infrastructure and residential zones with ruthless precision. Critical heating systems across the region were directly hit and crippled, dramatically worsening the already unbearable winter misery for families huddled on the contested front line where every day brings new hardships. Donetsk bore the brunt of the assault as Russia focused its fire with overwhelming force on this fiercely contested frontline area, turning what was once a bustling city into a symbol of unrelenting wartime suffering. Civilian infrastructure suffered widespread damage in the savage overnight assault on Donetsk, with power lines, water supplies, and public buildings left in ruins that will take months, if not years, to repair fully. Nearly 200 terrified people, including 35 vulnerable children, were urgently evacuated from their homes in the dead of night as the explosions rocked their neighborhoods and forced them into the frigid unknown. 2 civilians were tragically killed and another 10 were seriously injured in devastating strikes that pounded southern Kherson, leaving a trail of destruction in one of the most vulnerable parts of the country. A 14-year-old boy was among those wounded in the brutal Kherson attack, a stark reminder of how these indiscriminate strikes are shattering young lives and futures in the crossfire of this protracted war. The strikes inflicted severe damage on 14 high-rise apartment buildings and 5 private homes, according to local officials who are now scrambling to assess the full extent of the devastation and provide aid. Civilians were forced to flee in panic as Russian strikes hammered residential areas without warning, turning safe havens into zones of terror and displacing families who have nowhere left to turn for shelter. Kherson suffered heavy, catastrophic damage as missiles slammed into densely packed apartment blocks and modest family houses, underscoring Moscow's strategy of targeting civilian heartlands to break Ukraine's will.